Hello and welcome to today's Tao Manifesting Tarot. Thank you very much for being here, first timer, long timer, cross watcher. Everybody welcome all of the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. You are the reason that I do this. For the first timers, what makes this manifesting tarot reading so different from all others? And it is quite a significant difference because you're used to sort of a certain form, and this changes that. Well, first of all, this manifesting tarot reading is archetypal, 8 to 10 cards from 4 different decks. You get a nice mix, but it's very simple, very basic. But 4 decks, 8 to 10 cards, that gives you the whole story around this manifesting energy. I make sure that I focus on the current manifesting energy. You choose to opt in or opt out. You choose to use it or not. That's up to you, but it is the prevailing manifesting energy that is available to you because this reading's all about you. I do something called the Hyper Shuffle. It sets everything up. I'll do that in a moment. And I try to get the read within a 10-minute window. A lot of people go a lot longer. And while that might be fun or entertaining, it's not necessarily informative. There is so much information that it gets overwhelming. But we're used to having information overwhelm us these days. If you take a look at all the information mass media is putting out, it's intended to confuse, not to enlighten. This tarot reading, the manifesting tarot reading, is meant to enlighten, to clarify, to empower you. And it all begins right here. This is where we begin with the Hyper Shuffle. This is the Tao Manifesting Tarot reading for today. Let's go to the beginning where it all begins. And we begin with the Oracle deck for the manifesting energy. It is why. We're at a time where you need this question answered. It's not simply a letter in the alphabet. It is a question, a serious question. You will begin to find out why. For not just the last couple of years, but maybe your entire life, you will finally begin to get the information you need to really move forward, not to stay trapped in the habits and patterns of the past, but to actually break away. But for you to really make that connection, you have to have the answer to the question, why? And that's really what will be the biggest single advantage to 2022. And the trip is beginning. In fact, we got that full moon coming up, very powerful full moon with a grand trine in Earth coming up at the end of the week. Very, very good stuff. Let's get to the other information as well. Let's take a look at the energy of coming and going. It is the King of Wands. And incidentally, it is paired together with the Two of Wands. And I love this pairing because what it does, it says you see the future. And the future is the King of Wands energy. It's very positive, very forward thinking, very enthusiastic. It's leadership, it's innovation, it's action. In fact, you know what? May even be a little risk taking as well, but that's what allows you, the Two of Wands, to actually see the future better. So the king kind of sets it up with that attitude of positivity, enthusiasm. And with that, you now take 2 wands, not 1 but 2, because you've made a choice, and you take a look at the future. That's what's happening. You see a future that's better, that's brighter, that's much more encouraging, much more in positive, much more hopeful. Did I say in positive? Well, you know what I meant to say. A future that is much more to your liking, to your benefit. Because the past hadn't been. Yeah, just like this 5 of Cups card. Here he's looking at the 3 cups spilled. 2 cups are still perfectly well filled behind him. He's got that bridge behind him. He's got the castle behind him. He doesn't notice it. He's looking at the negative. And that, especially over the past couple of years, is where your focus has been. Look at what I have missed, rather than using that King of Wands and Two of Wands energy. You have instead chosen, quite rightly, and that's the way the plan has been intended, by the way, to keep you down, to keep you confused, to keep you depressed. And so you have fulfilled your role, but you're realizing at this point, yeah, there's a bridge there. Yeah, there's a castle there. Yeah, there is a difference. How do I get there? Your intuition. Your logic, your brain, your conscious brain has been used against you, has been just filled with negativity, filled with lies, false information, misrepresentation, to the point where that Five of Cups really kind of was manifested, right? That negativity was manifested. You did not see an opening. What will make the difference is the moon energy. Yeah, the moon reflects the sunlight, and it brightens things up. Not entirely. I mean, you don't see every fine detail under the moonlight, but you see. You feel. And that is the key for you. Not so much thinking, but a lot more positive feeling. It will lighten your path just enough to get you to be able to answer the question, why? And once you understand why, everything else will open up magically almost for you. Let's take a look at the cards here. Six of Swords. Yeah, this is gives you an opportunity to really kind of open things up. The Six of Swords, swords of course are thoughts, ideas, right? The very thinking process. Well, here I don't believe it's so much a thinking process as it is a realizing process. The realization is, I know now what the truth is, and I'm going to get out of the funk. I'm going to get out of the baloney. I'm going to get out of the stream of misinformation. I am going to smoother waters. I'm going to where I can feel my way through to my future. I'm not going to so much think my way through the future. I know what's true. I'm carrying my trueness, my honest beliefs with me. That's what the swords are. And you notice she is in a boat on the water. Water is emotion. Water is intuition. Look at the big full moon behind her. We got a full moon coming up on the 18th. Think there's a connection? I do. Because I think on the 18th is when you begin to get the answer to the question, why? Understand why, and again, everything opens up and you get to go to smoother waters. Do not depend so much on what you've been told, and do not depend so much on what you think, because this is what it does. Nine of Swords. This is the coulda, shoulda, woulda card. And it happens to all of us. Somewhere just before you get up, maybe 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there, just before you get up to start your day, all this negativity hits you. Geez, man, did I mess that up? Geez, I missed the opportunity. Geez, that's negative. And it does not answer the question why. Your thoughts will not answer this question. It is your feelings. It's your intuition. And you notice she's reaching over for a book. When she opens that book, she finds out why. When you open up your intuition, you find out why. You understand. And once you understand, everything else begins to fall into place. At that moment, with the vice versa card facing forward, the King of Swords, when you find out why, that is the spark. That's when everything comes together and you understand clearly to the point where you can never forget or unlearn. And you can definitely move forward. Doesn't he look like he's ready to move forward? No baloney about it. This guy is focused tight, fully. He's got the information he needs. He has the point of view he needs. He has the realization, understanding. He understands why. And you can just tell by the look on his face, he's ready to go forward, move on. He is determined. He's defiant. Seven of Wands says, no mas. You take a stand. You take the offensive. Instead of being the victim and just letting them roll over you, you say, that's enough. I want joy, positivity, and enthusiasm in my life. This is where I plant my flag. You see, the vice versa card is in reverse. This is a process going on inside of you right now, disconnecting from the baloney storyline that you have been fed in the last 2 years, certainly maybe your whole life. You are rewriting that story because you are beginning to understand why. And you're willing to work. You're willing to work. Eight of Pentacles says, I know what my values are. I know what my true values are. I don't have to pay attention to somebody else telling me what my values are. I have my values. And I'm going to work diligently. I am recommitting to my life and to myself because I finally, through all of this, I finally understand why. You will get there. And that understanding will begin at least at the full moon coming up at the end of this week. On the 18th, that full moon will begin to illuminate, and you will finally understand why. And most, if not all, of your questions will be asked, and things begin to fall into place. Oh, what a read. What a read. Thumbs up for the folks at YouTube. Please let them know that you do love this and you do support this. Also subscribe and share. This will help me to grow the channel. I do this for you, and it's wonderful every time we get together. I do a brand new read every day, 365 days a year. So you know I'm going to be here tomorrow. You and I can do this again tomorrow. But whenever you and I have a chance to talk tarot together, to manifest tarot together, between now and then, blessings.